Hello, 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 and welcome back to the Formula Fun podcast with me, Jay.
And me, Sinead. Hi,
Yeah.
Jay. How's it going?
Yeah, chaotic. I think we sort of
It's
wanted to
been
do
a
this
while.
podcast. It has been a while. I think we just wanted to do this podcast to say we haven't gone anywhere. We haven't disappeared.
Mhm.
We are still very much here. But as you may know, one has gone on a break due to all the
The
issues
war.
that are happening in the Middle East because of the war. So
Yeah.
we have also had a bit of a break. Also because there's not actually been that much to talk about, right?
No, I would have thought there would be more going on. I mean, there almost certainly is more going on, but none of it has been leaked to the press, so we don't know much about it.
Yeah, I think that the teams have just all gone back to the factories and gone, oh, okay, that's where we are at the moment. We need to work really, really hard.
Yeah.
So that's what they're doing. Who knows where we're going to be at. Now, we could have done, I've seen other podcasts out there that have been like, let's do a recap of the first 3 races and see where everyone's actually at. And I'm just like, we're not that kind of audience.
No, we're not. Not yet, anyway.
No. Everyone has a general idea of what's going on. A general snapshot of the season so far is that Mercedes are light years ahead. They are much better at doing their battery management, deployment, blah, blah, blah. And Kimi Antonelli, probably popular to contrary belief. Is that the right saying?
Yeah. Oh, contrary to popular belief.
That's the one. Contrary to popular belief, Kimi Antonelli is leading the championship. He's the youngest driver to ever do so. Everyone thought it was going to be Sinead's boy, Mr. George Russell, who, you know what? I actually think that George Russell just hasn't been putting the work in because he's always in your office.
Yeah, I mean, yep.
For those who don't know, if you watch our videos on YouTube, or if you're listening on Spotify, we also upload this to YouTube, and it's a video version of me and Sinead talking to each other. And Sinead has a cardboard cutout, a life-size cardboard cutout of Mr. George Russell.
I got it for my birthday, and I never asked my fiance how much it cost because I feel like I would be quite shocked. He said he had to ship it from Australia, so.
I just love that there's really not a market of people that want life-size cutouts of Formula One drivers, and you're like, yeah, I want it. This is me.
He's going away for work for a few days this week, and I'm definitely not going to put the George Russell cutout in my bed. I'm just putting it out there. That's definitely not going to happen.
Of course not. You know what? When we first started this podcast, we were just chatting, I saw you have to move him back into position, so I don't even want to ask where he's been.
Yep.
Anyway, welcome back. We are back.
I thought you were going to say he's been too busy developing his skincare brand, because that is a thing that's happening. Did you know that? Yeah, he's developing a skincare brand, I think with his partner. I think her name is Carmen.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure in the latest season of Drive to Survive, one of the opening shots is George Russell topless in his bathroom. I'm saying, I'm pretty sure this is the case. I'm 100% sure.
It's also the background on your phone.
And he has these little tubs of cream, and he's testing them out. And I'm pretty sure he says, oh, me and Carmen are developing a skincare brand. To be fair, he does have amazing skin. So, I would.
Maybe because of what he's developing.
Yeah.
Who knows? But yeah, maybe he's spending too much time doing that and not enough time racing. I'm joking. George Russell is very much still the favourite for this championship. But Kimi Antonelli is currently leading it, which is exciting. And I think it would be great to see the two drivers go head-to-head. Now, I have a little bit of a concern, worry maybe, about the rest of the season, in the fact that last year, for those who don't know, McLaren were very much ahead of the rest of the field, and Zach Brown, who is the team owner of McLaren, and Andrea Stella, who is the team principal of McLaren, were like, no, our drivers are free to race, and it's important they do race because it provides entertainment, and also we don't want to implicate team orders. However, Toto Wolff came out and said, well, I know from when I was 2016, I don't know why he speaks like that. He doesn't speak like that at all. He said something along the lines of, we know from when Lewis Hamilton and Nico Rosberg had all of their scraps when they were teammates.
Yeah.
How to better manage that.
Yes.
Which says to me there will always be a number one driver at Mercedes and they won't race as much, which for us is sad. But Kimi Antonelli was genuinely faster than George for the entirety of the Japanese weekend, apart from when he had his bad start.
Okay. Can I try to say that in the Total Wolf voice? I can't promise that it'll be any better. Right, here we go. Right. Here we go. I know how to better manage the relationship between Lewis Hamilton and Nico Rosberg. I have it printed out.
Very good.
What do you think? It was a little bit Arnold Schwarzenegger.
It was a little bit Arnie.
But I mean, they're both Austro-Germanic, you know.
Yeah. He's also a tank.
It helps to have an Austro-Germanic fiance. So, you know, that.
Got it.
Who's actually Italian. Let's not get into it right now.
Yeah, that's weird. Yeah, so I'm worried that Toto Wolff is going to basically say, no, George Russell's been here for longer and he is our number one driver.
Yeah, that's an interesting one, isn't it?
Assuring for the championship. But Kimi Antonelli is like the son that Toto Wolff never had.
Except he does have a son.
Yeah, but not winning the world championship for his team
yet.
that he also owns a majority stake in. Not yet. Yeah. So who knows? I think there's a little bit of the Toto that probably wants Kimi Antonelli to do really well because he is the protege. He is the kid that was brought up through the ranks because Toto really believed in him. But I also think that George Russell thinks this championship is his.
Yeah, and to be fair, how raging would you be if you were George Russell and then they did decide that Kimi was their best hope of winning? And
although enter McLaren because they are coming to Miami. So just for everyone's reference, Miami is next weekend, the first weekend of May. So we still have another 2 weeks off, basically. McLaren apparently are bringing a very big aero update to their car. They are also running the Mercedes engine, which is, as we know, the fastest engine out there. So, and also, I think had the safety car not come out in Japan, Oscar Piastri might have won that race.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So maybe enter McLaren from stage left, and they might.
You never know.
You never know. It's going to be an interesting season, and also
whatever way you look at it, this break is going to change the course of what the season might have been. You know.
Yes.
And and in the words of Max Verstappen, if me auntie had bollocks or whatever, that classic saying, if me auntie. The one I know is if my granny had wheels, she'd be a bicycle. But there are many variations on that theme. But I do think it's going to go down as a really significant factor in how the season plays out.
Yes, and you brought up two really interesting points there. And the first one was the season is not going to be the same because of this break. True, because the FIA, Formula One, the team principals, and the drivers have all had a series of meetings. In fact, I think the last meeting is today as of recording, Monday the 20th of April. Probably should have recorded tomorrow because we'll probably find out what they're changing. But they've had meetings and they said, it was always the intention that after the first few races we would have a meeting and we would sort out what is wrong with these regulations. Snapshot into these regulations, there's too much dependency on the battery power, which means a lot of drivers are lifting and coasting into corners and therefore they're not pushing themselves, especially in qualifying, they're not pushing themselves to the limit. It doesn't look like the drivers are on the edge. We want to rectify that because these are the 22 of the fastest drivers in the world. We want to see them challenge, want to see them push for it and not the car. Lando Norris said, actually I heard Martin Brundle say this the other day, Lando Norris said after the Japanese Grand Prix, I didn't intend to overtake Lewis Hamilton, but my car did. As in, he was behind Lewis Hamilton, braking for a corner, and the car was like, no, we've got enough power. And Lando's like, right, okay, we're overtaking. So this is like where the cars are almost like too AI powered and it's too tricky to like actually understand and assess what is best. It's not down to the drivers.
Give it 5 years, we're all going to be bowing down to the AI overlords. And I, for one, am not looking forward to it. Oh no.
Yeah.
That's like in Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. There's a bit near the start where Voldemort is flying after Harry across London, and Harry's like basically prepared to die, and Voldemort casts a spell, and Harry's wand blocks it without him doing anything. Yes, it's exactly like that, I think.
Yeah. It's scary, I think, because we want to see the reason why these people are in Formula One are because they are the top
There's
22 drivers in the world.
Yeah.
So therefore, we want to see those skills put to the test. Now, yes, we've had closer racing, especially with the Ferrari drivers.
Yeah.
Had really good racing this season so far, but we don't want the cars to make the decision for them.
Well, they're essentially self-driving cars, and the drivers are just chilling, cruising along.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
so
is.
Yeah, Lando expected to brake for a corner, and the battery sort of took over and went, "Oh no, we have a bit more power, so we're just going to push past." Or and he was like, "Oh, okay, we're pushing past." So yeah, hopefully these meetings are going to eradicate some of those issues. Obviously, from a safety perspective as well, we have Oliver Behrman nearly drove into the back of Franco Colapinto, had to take avoiding action, ended up in a 50G crash, which is huge. And he is fine, and he's done a couple of interviews about it, and they've just said that this is the time to have those sit-down conversations to work out what is best. Now, there are things that they can do. They can reduce the overall need and capacity for the battery, which means we might get rid of this super clipping, which we've already discussed in the past. It isn't super. It makes the car is visibly slowing down, and you can hear the engine whirring down as the battery energy depletes. So what they can do is they can basically make the cars 2, maybe 3 seconds slower a lap, but it would use more energy from the standard engine, the internal combustion engine.
And as we've discussed, the cars are already going slower generally.
Yeah.
So if they're going to slow them down even more, it's not good. Not good for the drivers, not good for the fans, not good for the sport.
Yes, but I think as a fan watching these cars go around the track, I prefer to see the drivers challenged. And if the overall lap time is a couple of seconds slower, I don't think we, as fans watching them go through corners, would really notice it. They're still what have I said in the past? What's my word? Squirrely. They're still squirrely. They're still nimble. They're still very much the fastest racing cars on the planet at the moment.
Sure.
It's just they need to work out what they can do to make sure everyone's happy and also safe. Okay, more news. We have Gianpiero Lambiase. Who's that, Sinead?
He is the team engineer for... No, this is not... I know who he is. Hold on, let me get it right. Is it team engineer? Is that what they're called? No, what are they called?
Oh, we'll find out.
I do know. Hold on. He is the race engineer for Max Verstappen.
Well done.
One Max Verstappen. And he has announced that in 2028, when his contract finishes, he will be moving to McLaren.
He will. I'm going to slightly change that. His contract with Red Bull finishes in 2027. So therefore, in 2028, he's going to McLaren. However, he will have to go on gardening leave. So could this be GP's last year with Red Bull, and then he's on gardening leave for a year, then McLaren in 2028? Who knows?
GP. I've just noticed that. Like MotoGP or Grand Prix.
Lovely. Yep. Yeah.
It's the job he was born to do.
He has been Max Verstappen's race engineer ever since
he started in F1.
Ever since Max joined Red Bull. And got the first win. GP has been his race engineer ever since. And Max Verstappen won and said, if GP leaves, I'm leaving. So, what does this mean for Max Verstappen? I have done a bit of reading on this. Max Verstappen actually encouraged GP to go because I think Gianpiero Lambiase has
Red
reached
Bull is a sinking ship.
Well, yeah, that's sort of like the underlying theme that's going on with Red Bull at the moment. But GP had sort of reached his like the ceiling level in terms of where he was at Red Bull, and family stability, security, more money, it all comes into it. So he is off to McLaren, and should Andrea Stella, a few years' time, who is currently the team principal, there's no one better to step into that role than GP, and he is apparently a very, very down-to-earth and nice person who has no bullshit. Like, him and Max Verstappen have this really renowned relationship where they will just speak their minds, and it's really refreshing to hear. So exciting news for him.
I actually saw quite a funny meme on, so there's a Reddit sub called Formula Dank where people share like memes and stuff because they're not allowed to on the main Formula One sub for obvious reasons. So, you know, those breaking news, the Formula One sort of embossed breaking news highlights that they put up with photo. So obviously, or maybe not obviously, we have discussed already quite a lot that quite a lot of key players in Red Bull have been leaving kind of steadily over the sort of been trickling out over the last few years. So F1 breaking news, Adrian Newey to leave Red Bull, or F1 breaking news, Gianpiero Lambiase to leave Red Bull. And then someone shared this meme that said, F1 breaking news, the Bull to leave Red Bull. So like the literal bull from the emblem of Red Bull.
Maybe that's next.
Apparently he's quitting. So it's just gonna be a big yellow circle.
I think it's really hard for, is it Laura Mekis, who has had to like come in, and it is a case of, it feels very much like a sinking ship. They are well, once they were the giant of Formula One in terms of when these new regulations came in 2022, 2023, 2024, they won the championship.
Yeah.
They won it in 2021 as well, but controversial, not talking about that. And they nearly won it again last year. But Horner, Adrian Newey, Rob Marshall, Jonathan Wheatley, Gianpiero Lambiase, like they're all
that's a lot of
it's a lot of big key figures. And it's I think Red Bull are a midfield team from next year onwards. Now, Sinead, I have a question for you. What does this mean about Max Verstappen? What's he going to do?
So Max Verstappen, it's been amazing to watch him in interviews, especially recently, because he's always kind of been like kind of laid back. It's like he's so talented and so amazing at the sport that he's just chill about it. You know, he doesn't really get in his own head. He doesn't ever seem to falter in his like ambition to like get the job done. And he has kind of said that he's come into the sport, he's achieved everything he wants to achieve. He doesn't seem too concerned with like beating, you know, the 7 world title record or anything like that. And he's also said that he has an interest in other kinds of motorsports. So he maybe will do the Le Mans 24-hour or MotoGP or what's the other one? Nordschleife, maybe? Nordschleife?
That's what he's just done that at the weekend, the Nordschleife.
Oh, well, there you go. And I mean, there's already been footage of him sneaking out to do other kinds of racing during the breaks.
Yeah, he did the, was it the 24 hours? It might have been the 24 hours, but he was leading, but then the car had an issue and he had to go into the pits for half an hour.
And wasn't there one recently that he actually won it and then afterwards was disqualified?
Yeah.
But it wasn't, it was for a tire technical issue that wasn't to do with him. So
that's the second time he's raced at the Nordschleife and not won, but should have.
Yeah. So potentially he could go on to set some kind of record in racing history where he maybe wins across some multiple types of racing. I don't know. Should I? Are you looking it up?
No, there's something that I want to ask you a very, very quick question. Do you know, I have just Googled something because I couldn't remember what it is, and shame on me because I should have remembered. Do you know what the Triple Crown is?
Okay. Are they races that I've mentioned in this conversation?
Yeah. One.
Okay. So if I had to guess, I would say Formula One, 24 Hour of Le Mans, and Formula E?
But
No.
close. I will tell you what it is. So
Okay.
the Triple Crown, Fernando Alonso was well known for trying to get the Triple Crown. The Triple Crown is winning the Monaco Grand Prix in Formula One.
Okay.
It is winning.
Specifically. Right.
It is winning the 24-hour race of Le Mans.
Yeah.
And it is winning the Indy 500.
Ah, okay.
The Indy 500. Do you know what the Indy 500 is?
I've heard of it.
Okay. The Indy 500 is an oval track in Indianapolis, and there are 500 laps, basically.
Okay. Yeah, I see where it gets its name.
Yeah. So, yes, Verstappen maybe wants to try and go for the Triple Crown. You know what? I also don't think he cares. I just think he enjoys racing.
He actually doesn't care. He literally just hops in the car, goes for a spin.
Yeah.
Happens to be the best and wins. And then he goes home, plays on his computer, and hangs out with his family. It seems to be, yeah.
So coming back to my question, what do you think Max Verstappen will do?
I think he'll retire from F1.
This year?
No. When Gianpiero leaves.
Okay. So if Gianpiero has to go on a year's gardening leave next year.
Yep.
Therefore, he's technically finishing at the end of this year.
Oh, yeah. That's a good point. I mean, it would suck for him to not go out on a high.
Max Verstappen has 12 points to his name this year so far.
Which he's tying Liam Lawson, I think.
He's not enjoying life.
Yeah. And he doesn't seem like the sort of person who's going to put up with that for much longer.
Right. So, what's he doing?
Is this like he's going to, like, I don't know, retrain and start to like become a fashion designer or something? Maybe a plumber, bricklayer, I don't know.
Sure, electrician.
Is there an answer to this question, or are you just asking me sort of what I think
what do you think?
Happen? Yeah. Right.
Yeah. When do you think Max Verstappen goes, I'm done with Formula One? Or do you think he'll take like a year off? Do you think he'll join another team? Do you think he'll just leave?
I think he'll just leave.
Right, okay.
That's my prediction. Based on what I've seen and what I've heard him say. He's not like Lewis and Fernando.
Chasing.
Where they're kind of, well, Lewis definitely is chasing that last kind of going out on a high, going out as the world champion. Max doesn't seem to really care about that because, as he said himself, like, I've done it. I've broken like several world records. I've got my trophies. Like even last year when they were interviewing him near the end of the season alongside the McLaren drivers, I think it was right before the final race, right before Abu Dhabi. And they were like, you know, what would it mean to you to become the world champion? And of course, both the McLaren boys were like, you know, it would mean everything. You know, it's been my dream since I was a young boy and I was karting around wherever. And he kind of said something like, oh, well, I've already got 4 of them at home. Like, it would be nice to add a 5th, but, you know, whatever.
Which I feel like Norris and Piastri in that press conference must have been like, dude.
Yeah.
Come on. Downplaying a world championship. That's all we want.
So yeah, I don't see him staying on like the aforementioned drivers like Lewis and Fernando and even Hulkenberg for quote unquote, you know, an easy life. You know, he can continue to make millions and millions and millions of pounds every year staying in Formula One, or he's already made enough money that he can probably never work again if he doesn't want to. So
True. I think that do I think he'll leave at the end of the year?
Okay, so Jay.
Yes.
What do you think Max Verstappen will do at the end of this season?
His contract runs until, I believe, 2028.
Okay.
But I think there'll be an exit clause in there if he is not 3rd or higher in the championship that he can leave earlier. If the rules show no sign of change between now and the start of next year, I think there's a high chance that we get back from the summer break and he says I'm done. And that could just be a year. I feel like he could go away for a year, and then if by 2028 the regulations change and it is making racing more enjoyable again, he might come back. That being said, I know that he's very. I know, like I'm his best mate.
Like he's your mate, and you went down to the pub with him, and he's
Yeah.
over a pint of
That
Guinness.
being
He
said,
said,
when we had a
"Jay,"
pint of Guinness, he
he
said,
said,
"Jay,
"Jay, listen to me. Here's what
I'm a
I'm gonna
team
do."
player.
Yeah.
I'm a team player, and I'm not going to let my team down." No, that being said, I understand that he is very much like he is involved with the team, like camaraderie, like he is a team player. He's part of a team, and he very much sees it that way. So I don't know if he would
leave them in the dust, leave them high and dry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But to be honest, if he leaves, I mean, he's the only one that's going to drag that Red Bull round in a relatively
Well,
quick time.
yeah, the only reason he's literally the reason why they came close to winning last year.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
He won 6 of the last 9 races.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it was all more or less all down to his
Yeah.
graft. Compared to McLaren, where they had a huge amount of help with the car that had been built for them.
Yeah. If he goes, who takes his seat? That's my next question.
Yeah, that's a good one. I mean, obviously, the most obvious trajectory would be. Oh no, actually, okay. So Hajar's already there.
Yeah.
I guess we'll see how this season plays out. I think if Lindblad continues to improve and grow in confidence on the track, I think it's more likely that they'll take Lindblad up as opposed to Lawson, even though Lawson has had more seasons under his belt. I don't know. I've seen this phrase bandied about quite a lot about ceilings. So drivers and their ceilings. So as in CEILINGS, not SEALINGS. Give Jay a minute to work that out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Got
you
it.
with me? Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not just about how good is a driver currently doing. It's also about how high is that driver's ceiling. And the general consensus seems to be that Lindblad has a very high ceiling and will continue to improve exponentially. So I would say Lindblad moves to the second seat, Hajar takes over the first seat, Lawson stays at
Racing Bulls.
I was going to say Toro Rosso there, Racing Bulls. And I guess because they have an academy, whoever the most promising F2 driver is will move up. I mean, that's a pretty safe take, I think.
Yeah.
But again, maybe you have more knowledge than I do about who's in the mix.
Yeah, I think I do. I'm actually going to say this. I think that Max Verstappen actually leaves before the summer break. Yuki Tsunoda comes back and takes a seat for the rest of the season. And then 2027 driver announcements are Daniel Ricciardo and Isaac Hajar.
Right. Are you serious? Or is that a joke? I was going to say, I was like, what?
Ricciardo's done.
What I wouldn't give to have Danny Ricciardo back in the race.
I know.
We haven't really spoken about him very much because he's not a current racer. But my top 3 drivers that I love are George Russell, Carlos Sainz, and Daniel Ricciardo.
Yep,
and I think
3 best personalities, are they?
The way he went out was so sad.
Yeah.
For him to have a redemption arc would be amazing. But I read like an interview that he gave a few weeks ago, and they kind of asked him, obvious question, if you were offered the opportunity to come back to Formula One and have another shot at the title, would you take it? And he gave this really kind of thoughtful, well measured and philosophical response where he essentially said no.
Right.
That he'd had a lot of time to reflect, and that the decline that he experienced was so traumatic and so swift that he was realistic with himself and just said, I don't have it in me. I don't have it in me anymore. I've actually found a little bit of the quote here. So he said, I knew it was becoming harder for me and I had to dig really deep to pull out a result that I was proud of. Last year, so my retirement year, I gave myself a lot of time to reflect on my career and to be at peace with it. So there you go.
Okay.
I actually think if he still wanted to come back to Formula One in some capacity, he'd be a brilliant pundit. You know, he'd be a brilliant
he would actually. He
interviewer,
would
like
be.
the way
Yeah.
Jensen Button has done that, and I think he's great. But maybe Daniel just wants to roam the Australian outback and ride horses and stuff. So
I mean, he's living a
fair
life
play
of
to him.
luxury. I mean,
Yeah.
the Renault contract that he had. So
Yeah.
Daniel Ricciardo raced for Toro Rosso, Red Bull, Renault, McLaren, got sacked from McLaren, came back to
Back
Toro
to
Rosso.
Red. Oh,
I think it was Toro Rosso.
yeah.
And had his accident,
Mm-hmm.
and then came back to Toro Rosso again, but wasn't Toro Rosso by now. It's now AlphaTauri, and then he lost his seat halfway through the season to Liam Lawson. But it was that. Yeah, you're right. That whole interview bit at the end of the race was so sad to see.
Sad to
so
watch.
sad.
I know.
Because he couldn't say it was his last time.
Mm-hmm.
He couldn't say it was his last race. I assume contract reasons, whatever. But it's just been like, have your final lap parade. Enjoy the fact that this is probably your last race. Blah blah blah. But yeah, sad. Anywho, yeah. Well, I mean, if he wants to come back next year, I'm up for it.
Were you about to say something about his contract with Renault? No. I thought you were going to say maybe it was like a special.
Oh yes,
no.
So his contract with Renault was for a lot of money.
Of money,
yeah. That Renault basically Red Bull were powered by Renault engines, and when Daniel Ricciardo called Christian Horner to tell him that he was leaving to go to Renault, Christian Horner laughed at him, thinking he was joking on the phone, because all Red Bull did that entire season was say, "Our engine is rubbish, and it's Renault's fault." So then when Daniel Ricciardo goes, "Hey, I'm leaving for Renault," he was like, "Okay, and why have you actually called me?" He's like, "No, I'm actually leaving for Renault." He was like,
"Right,
why?" so yeah, you know what? Daniel Ricciardo, very much loved member of the sport, and like you say, if he wanted to come back, there would be a place for him. I think you're right. Pundit would be great if Daniel Ricciardo did that.
Yeah.
But maybe coming back to the sport would be too much of a, I don't know, putting salt in the wound, as it were.
Yeah.
Anywho, I mean, I don't really have much else to say about Formula One this week, but we have done a half-hour episode on very limited information, so that's good. However, shall we do our weekly quizifying round?
Yes.
Lovely. Would you like to go first, or would you like me to go first?
Why not? I shall go first. Okay. So this is another one where I'll give you a margin each way, because I don't know if you could get it right. If you got it right, I would probably just go lie down or something, because that would be crazy. Okay. So, the oldest podium in F1 history was in the very first season, the inaugural season. Do you know what I'm going to say?
So basically we're looking at 1950.
Yep.
Right.
So, the top three drivers that year were Nino Farina, Luigi Fagioli, and Louis Rosier.
Okay.
They had a combined age of...
I don't
know. I'll give you a margin of 5 years either way.
Right. 144.
You should have stopped before the last number.
140.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
You know what? I was like, they're probably around 45. So I went 135, and I was like, I'll give myself a bit more because I know there was some older drivers. 140.
Yeah.
Damn
so it. It was an average of 46 years.
So actually, I was right because I was within 5.
Oh, you're absolutely right. But I was about to fall off my seat because I thought you maybe had got it completely bang on.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Good one. I honestly, my knowledge, I'd say, and it's really sad this because I wish it wasn't, and it will get better, but my knowledge from like 1950 to, I'm going to say basically when I was born, 1989 onwards, I'm flying. but, before that, not so much. Okay. My quizifying question this week is probably going to be a bit of a stab in the dark for you. But we have missed the Bahrain Grand Prix due to the issues going on in the Middle East. Now, I'm going to get onto that later, actually. But the very first, it's weird because I see Bahrain as like a new track.
Right.
And when I was having a look at this earlier, I was like, oh my God, it's been running since then. So Bahrain, the very first Bahrain Grand Prix 2004.
Okay.
It was won by Michael Schumacher and closely followed by his teammate, Rubens Barrichello. But who came third? Was it A, Jenson Button driving a BAR Honda? Was it B, Mark Webber driving a Jaguar? Or was it C, Fernando Alonso driving a Renault?
So I'm kind of annoyed because when you said about it being a new track, but then you were shocked when you looked it up, I thought you were going to ask me when was the first race. And in my mind, I was about to say 2005, which would have been only 1 year out
would have
from
been
the
close.
truth.
Yep.
But you didn't ask me that.
Sorry.
So I'm just going to go with Alonso.
I mean, good effort because Alonso was on his way to like doing, mounting a championship challenge the following year in 2005 and 2006. It was Jenson Button for BAR Honda. He finished 27 seconds behind Michael Schumacher. Yeah, right. Quizifying, good effort. But I knew that was going to be a bit of a stab in the dark. Now, as mentioned, we have missed the Bahrain Grand Prix. We've also missed the Saudi Arabia Grand Prix. But I have a task for you, which I actually really want you to do by this time next week when we do our next episode.
Okay.
Can you please, if you want to watch the full race, feel free, but I think the highlights is enough. The 2014 Bahrain Grand Prix.
Okay.
Watch highlights of that.
Okay.
And I want to hear your thoughts on it. Okay. And the next one is the 2020 Sakir Grand Prix.
Okay.
Those are my two.
So those are the two.
Races
2014 Abu Dhabi, 2020.
Nope. 2014 Bahrain. Good try.
My brain no longer exists.
I've even sent you a message.
I was going to say, can you just text it to me? Can you just write it down?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Yeah, there it is.
2014 Bahrain Grand Prix, 2020 Sakir Grand Prix. I'm going to ask you your thoughts, and I want you to explain to me why it's the Sakir Grand Prix.
Oh, okay. I have an inkling, but I will. Okay. And then I also have to guess why you've asked me to watch those two races specifically.
So, I mean, I can tell you obvious. Basically, it's because we've missed the Bahrain Grand Prix.
Don't tell me.
Well, no, because it's nothing too exciting. It's because we've missed the Bahrain Grand Prix, and those are probably the two highlight races that I know of from Bahrain, which would definitely be worth a watch.
Gotcha. Okay, I will do that.
Wonderful.
So,
okay,
I have a Formula Fun fact.
Great, good, because I completely forgot we did that.
And it's thematically in keeping with my quizifying question.
Yep.
So, contrasting what I asked you for the quizifying question about the oldest podium in F1 history, the youngest podium in F1 history has just been set in Japan when Antonelli, Oscar Piastri, and Charles Leclerc together combine just under 73 years.
That's nearly less than double.
Yes.
3 years, isn't it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Obviously, Antonelli being 19 is like, brings the average down quite significantly. So the average is just over 24 years each.
Wow.
There you go.
Who's the oldest out of those three?
I think Leclerc is, because Piastri's only like 23 or something, 24, I think. 24. He's younger than you think he is because he's so level-headed and like he's been there a while. But
sure.
yeah.
Lovely. Full of Formula Fun facts here on the Formula Fun podcast. And with that, I think it is time to box.
Woo.
You have been listening to the Formula Fun podcast. Please like, rate, subscribe, sign up, do everything you can to help this channel grow. But you've been listening to the Formula Fun podcast today. Thank you so much for listening. I'm Jay, and I bring...
You have been listening to the Formula Fun podcast, where Jay brings the formula.
And Sinead brings... I knew I remembered it. Bye!
Beep, beep.